And is swinging in with that Trailmaker, dropping Tin Man down to
You're watching the Eternal Tournament Series.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Eternal Tournament Series. We are in round 4 of Season 2, Week 8, 2018. I am Calimdir, and joining me in the booth is SirRhino. We have another fun matchup for you guys in the winner's bracket.
Yeah, we've got a pair of 3-0 players getting matched up here. BenBuford on Felon Control deck up against Jez, who is on, I don't know, just a pile of big stuff from Huru and Argenport and Felon, right? We've got Inquisitor Mokto Nostrix sort of shenanigans as the top end, and as Jez kind of said in his deck list name, hoping to dodge Felon, as his deck's a little soft to some of the tech that Felon decks can employ, like In Cold Blood and Rain of Frogs and things like that. Although, actually, Nostrix decks are kind of good against Rain of Frogs. It's a fun little dance that'll show up.
Yeah.
But BenBuford's packing both of those. So the traditional wisdom says Jez is an underdog in this game, but how do you think he can pull off the win?
I think the Shelterwing Riders, the Inquisitor Moktos, those are threats that are really difficult to deal with for control decks, and Kothon can provide a lot of value as the game goes on. Plus, Nostrix giving +5/+5 to units that might otherwise be irrelevant in the late game. For example, Frogs, like you said, or Huru Pacifier could give Felon a lot of trouble, but in general, there's just going to be more cards that are relevant and powerful in the matchup on the side of BenBuford. This mid-range, this JPS deck is like sort of a mid-range control list looking to prey on some of the more aggressive strategies. It's just a lot of good value and a lot of good answers, plus the life gain from a Black Harbinger. But yeah, like you said, with cards like Rain of Frogs, Channel of Tempest, and a Zindel's Gift, it's going to be very difficult for him to close the game out fast enough.
Yeah, like the plan that Jets typically would have is, okay, I've got really nice recurring threats that build up in value, like Inquisitor Mokto and Nostrix. That theory gets thrown out the window once In Cold Blood gets introduced into the equation,
Right.
because notably Jez has no way of getting face Aegis, no Cobalt Waystones as you're on 3 faction, and didn't want to try and figure that out. No islands, favors. So you merely have main deck 1 islands choice to counter that In Cold Blood, and otherwise your Moktos, Nostrix, Shelterwing Riders, whatever, they could get locked up.
Yeah. Yeah, In Cold Blood is not a fun card when you're on the receiving end and it really just shuts down your deck.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it looks like we're going to try and get into this game soon. And like we said, Jez looking like a bit of an underdog in this matchup.
Yeah, and that's not to say he can't win this. Certainly can, especially with BenBuford's current hand, a Hailstorm and Annihilate, and then a bunch of power. Not exactly what the doctor ordered.
Yeah, and Jez, though, with a pretty reasonable hand, being able to deploy Huru Pacifier on turn 3, which is a reasonable threat and not something that the deck is looking to do, is really get threats down early. So that's a good start there. Plus, if you look at BenBuford's hand, the only removal spells are Hailstorm and Annihilate, neither of which answer Huru Pacifier.
Yeah, Huru Pacifier is just a really strong card. That's kind of seen less play than you would have initially expected when we saw the card, and that was more just because Huru was taking a lot of time figuring out exactly what it wanted to do, and Hailstorm was big and splashy, and people didn't quite know. But as we've seen today, even Huru Pacifier is having its impact felt.
Yeah, and I think there's a lot of other powerful cards that got introduced at the same time as Huru Pacifier, and Huru, like you said, is still finding his place. And I think a lot of the decks that want to play Huru Pacifier took a couple hits from some of the other cards.
Yeah, I think there's also the problem of Huru has some pretty greedy paths to take in terms of influence, but still doesn't have access to a crest, and that's really held back how strong Huru can be. Like if Huru had a crest right now, it might have been a borderline oppressive deck, and instead has to deal with the fixing challenges that some of the other faction combinations don't have.
Yeah, that and the decline of Armory as well
Mhm.
definitely didn't help. But yeah, BenBuford, gonna look like they might try and wait till turn 5 and Varus favor Huru Pacifier, take care of all the units on the board. Seeing as
Mhm.
Jez's clock is, 6 damage is nothing to scoff at, but it's definitely not gonna kill BenBuford anytime soon.
Yeah, I wouldn't be shocked to see that kind of patience from Buford here, but at the same time, it does hurt to simply not cast anything. But I think that's a heads up play, planning ahead here. Oh, never mind.
I think it's okay to get rid of Annihilate. If you take a look at Jez's deck, the
Mhm.
only Annihilate target is
Okay.
actually Valkyrie Enforcer.
Yeah, Valkyrie Enforcer, or if
And
Kothon ever
Owl, yeah.
activates, the Owl. So that makes a lot of sense to just
Yeah.
use Annihilate there. It's not getting any better. But now Jez decides to hold on to this other Valkyrie Enforcer, and that means it won't get caught in the Hailstorm.
A pretty smart play, but I don't know how much of a difference it's going to make in this game because this Valkyrie Enforcer is not going to be able to close it out particularly quickly, and BenBuford's going to have to brick for quite a while for this Valkyrie Enforcer to be relevant, and here comes Thunderstrike Dragon.
Yeah, that is not the brick you were hoping for. A pair of Thunderstrike Dragons. Oh, great. Now there's 2 of them. And how will Jez deal with that?
Thunderstrike Dragon, a Felon Control classic of old. The old 1 Celestial Omen, 1 Thunderstrike was a fun thing back in the day.
Yeah, it struggled to make an impact in a lot of metagames because there was so much aggro. You couldn't really afford to play a 6-drop that, even though it was generating a lot of value, simply could just die or get exhausted and not do anything. And yeah, you have a second one, but by then you were dead. Now that the metagame slowed down, just having this 6-drop that gives you 2 5/6 flyers, as long as you can afford to cast them, you're gonna love it.
See, that's the dream, is playing the Thunderstrike Dragon Nostrix deck. That's the real dream.
Oh yeah. Well, who needs Thunderstrike Dragon when you can play Porter, right? And just search him up with the newly buffed Recruiter. So
I have played against that deck.
Oh yeah,
I lost to that deck.
You could also just play Thunderstrike Dragon alongside that whole package, I suppose.
Yeah, that is what I played against.
Yeah, so Sheltering Rider gets locked up with In Cold Blood. So all 4 copies are now in the void.
Forever.
But Jez is still in okay shape.
Yeah,
I mean Valkyrie
Jez
Enforcer beatdown.
Yeah, Jez drew another Valkyrie Enforcer, and Ben did not draw anything. He drew more
12 power.
More power than he could possibly play. Strategize is going to help out a little bit. Put one of these power to the bottom, but let's see what he gets off the top.
I think he's going to find something good. That's
yeah, not bad, not bad. And wow, you get to keep one of. So even if you were to put 1 Thunderstrike in the bottom, you still keep 1. Wow, that's.
Oh yeah. Echo and Fate are really strong mechanics that you could do some really cool stuff with in terms of card advantage manipulation.
Strategize still it's a really cool card. I know it's been out for a while, but I just love Strategize.
It is a joy to play with, and I think BenBuford's also really enjoying playing with these Thunderstrike Dragons right now.
Yeah, against the Mono Flyers deck, Thunderstrike is probably the best card he could have drawn, and he drew both of them. Right? He's only playing 2 if I'm wrong, but only 2.
2 total. And doesn't have to fear like overextending onto a board or something like that. Even though Jez is on a kind of controlling build of this deck, it's not all the way in on something like Harsh Rule. It's just relying on Hailstorm as a sweep. And speaking of Hailstorm as a sweep, Buford finds one and some Suffocates to go with it, and now has total control of this board state.
Yeah, and Suffocate is a card we have not seen in a long time. I mean, Ben is playing 2 copies, which is not not a ton. But still, it's just been out of the metagame for so long because as Jez goes down here, just because there aren't good targets for it, and the targets that it does stop very quickly go out of range or just not relevant.
I think it got a lot more appeal with the rise of Argenport and specifically the rise of Crown Watch Trader. It gave that card a lot more relevant targets now in this metagame, I think, provided you kill things before they get weapons on them or get war cries. So I have been a pretty big fan of Suffocate as of late. It's still can end up being pretty dead against your time decks. And now doesn't work against Black Sky Harbinger, so is pretty dead in the Fel matchup as well. But
for Suffocate to be good, you have to be a Shadow deck, and you have to not want to play Permafrost or not be Justice and just play Slay or whatever. So that the Crown Watch Trader being the new relevant unit for for blanking Permafrost makes Suffocate relevant again. Previously, we saw some play of Suffocate when Rakano was having its glory days, and there was a lot of Champion of Glory around, and even then it would just sometimes put a weapon on it and your Suffocates would be dead.
Yeah, that was also a time where there were just more Suffocate targets. Steward of the Past saw more play. Harbinger could get hit by it. Seraph was popular. Like there were just Maiden was another big reason to play Suffocate. So there were all these kind of reasons, and they all sort of slowly got replaced by other finisher options, and it made Suffocate less appealing.
So post board, Jez has a few options to get a little bit more proactive. Got more pacifiers just to have threats if we come to that. But most likely we're going to see this one-off extra Nostrix go to 4 Nostrix. Probably Island's Choice Unseal and the Sabotages, I think, are the biggest includes.
Yeah, I think you're trying to just go with up your threats and up your protection for those threats. So Island's Choice, Unseal, Sabo, as you said, those all seem like very useful cards. 2 of Harsh Rule is just a weird thing to have in the sideboard. I do not expect it to come in here.
Yeah. From the side of BenBuford, Eye of Winter looks great here, right?
I am a big fan of Eye of Winter, and against the Mokto Nostrix Sheltering Rider deck, that sounds pretty good to me, right? They're going to have trouble punishing you or pressuring you early, so you have time to set up the Eye. It can pop Aegis, it can lock down their biggest flyer. It can do a lot of work for just one card.
It looks like they're getting into the matchup already, so pretty quick sideboarding from both players. I mean, I guess we did talk about Suffocate for quite some time.
Oh, yeah.
But likely to see probably Suffocate and Annihilate come out for some better removal spells on the side of Ben, since he has plenty of time to cast things like Feeding Time and maybe even Polymorph, just because Jez's clock is so slow.
Yeah, we'll have to see how Buford changed up. Both decks are also Hailstorm decks in some regards, so it'll be interesting to see if anybody kept any copies in at all, or if both just threw them all out.
And Jez gonna have that early Suffocate. Ben with a much more proactive hand this game, with 2 champions already.
Yeah. Ben last game really had nothing going forever, and then just got bailed out by those dragons, right? It looked like he was just in Flood City, and he was, but Thunderstrike Dragon showing off how powerful it can be in that last game. And now this game, Buford, as you said, a bit more action going on, but will it be enough against Jez, who's poised to refill pretty quickly?
Yeah, and that In Cold Blood dodged that Sabotage there. I mean, not that there were 2 removal spells anyway, but In Cold Blood is definitely the one you'd rather get rid of, since Sabotage, you still at least get to keep your Huru pacifiers in your deck. And wow, there's a Mokto.
Yeah, Buford's going to be using Wisdom here, so he may opt to find a better reason to not using Cold Blood on Huru Pacifier, which isn't the ideal hit in this grindy matchup. But that being said, post board, there probably is 4 copies of Pacifier in Jez's list now.
It looks like this Suffocate's probably going to be targeting this Huru Pacifier. Going to open up Ben to playing the Strategize this turn, which I really like. And then that means this Mokto is going to get In Cold Blooded, which is very flavorful and very powerful.
Yeah. I don't know how big of a fan I am of using Strategize this turn. I think this game's going to go pretty long, and Strategize gets more and more valuable as the game goes on.
Right.
But he tucked away a power and is hoping to not need a 6th in the meantime.
I think this In Cold Blood on Mokto is going to make it very, very difficult for Jez to have any chance in this game.
Yeah, that's his primary win con is now gone, but the secondary one just showed up. Nostrix is the draw for the turn. So Jez has a pretty clean Strategize plus Enforcer set up Nostrix turn here, turn Enforcer into a better threat going forward. As if it needed help.
Great target though. Enforcer's not what you ideally want to hit with Nostrix. I'd much rather hit Kothon or anything with Aegis.
And he might not even get the chance to hit Valkyrie Enforcer here, as suffocates the draw for Buford. He could use it, but there's also that wisdom lurking in hand with a Zindel's Gift. Yeah, he wants to just dig for power.
Yeah, Zindel's Gift's pretty good here.
And this is where Ben might be a little sad that they bottomed a power with a strategize, but your consolation prize is a bunch of dragons and other things.
So now that Suffocate is pretty dead, but Ben just with a hand full of flyers is going to be able to stall out plenty of time here. And I don't think he's in any threat of dying particularly soon. And there's just so many cards in Ben's hand that I don't think Jez is going to be able to break through this.
Yeah, but still, he's facing down 13 damage right now, so he may have to use a Polymorph here and play nothing else. Or you could have gone with a Thunderstrike Dragon and gone for bounce blocks on Nostrix. But now we see the Polymorphs and Suffocate come out.
Yeah, no frog for you. I guess I guess 6 is pretty different than 5 here at Ben's life total. And Suffocate's probably not going to find any targets, seeing as now it's only Kothon, right? Or no, there's still some pacifiers.
There were still pacifiers, yeah. So there was still plenty of Suffocate targets, just didn't work. Now we'll see if Jez decides to get the gift down here. And yeah, Buford decides to gift Jez and take out whatever else is lurking in hand.
I don't really love the Azindel's Gift play here because Jez only has 2 cards in hand, so the likelihood of you doing something particularly relevant there is low. But seeing as Jez had the Vanquish, it kind of was the same. It would have just been play a Thunderstrike, get it vanquished, and it kind of the same result as what we saw here.
Yeah, this is super minor, but I would have liked to have seen the Vanquish get bottom there. I don't think there's any Celestial Omens to pull it out, but I don't know why you're putting a power on the bottom either. Again, doesn't matter. Here comes Thunderstrike Dragon, and now we're going to gum up the skies, and ooh, that unseal a little late to the party.
Yep. And this is where Ben gets some advantage out of playing that Azindel's Gift over Thunderstrike.
Oh, yeah.
And from this point onwards, it just gets worse and worse for Jez.
Yeah, Jez is okay with kind of being in top deck mode, but yeah, you're going to have some bad draws like Unseal there that we see it now. Rain of Frog's a dead draw from Ben, but he's got plenty of other gas in the tank here. Can either play another 5/6 flyer or a 5/5 flying Aegis to start setting those up for whenever he finds a shadow source, and that's what he opts to go with.
Shelter Wing is a good draw here. I mean, we're talking about a miraculous series of draws for Jez to win this game. Jez has to draw a playable flyer for every turn until the game ends, basically, and Ben has to miss a few.
Basically, at this point, if Jez draws a Valkyrie Enforcer, he's got a shot. Like, it would be an 8/8 flyer, silence Thunderstrike Dragon, and kind of pressure. But that is not the draw. Instead, it's simply a sabotage. And this is why I think Jez feared this matchup. As Felm's got the lock set up, tons of huge, hard to deal with flyers, and they just keep coming.
And I think more than regular Felm control, Ben's deck is particularly frustrating for Jez just because of the Thunder Strikes and things like that. And the additional copy of Azindel's Gift and Rain of Frogs and stuff like that. It's a little more late game oriented. Strategize off the top. Gonna find a Valkyrie Enforcer.
Yeah, there it is, but I think it's a little too late now, as a silence this turn certainly not pushing through anything resembling lethal. And Jez is at a healthy 25. Not quite as healthy, though, when he's
not very healthy when there's well over 25 damage on the other side of the board there. And we're going to maybe see the third champion come down. Casual +6 attack to all units every turn. No big deal.
Farah's Favor is actually a pretty nice draw here. Can pop the Aegis on Shelter Wing Rider, get one less good blocker and attacker on the board.
Yep. Very relevant when you have 5 attack or 5 health units on your side.
Still not willing to trade off the champions just yet. Want to get another round of buffs for everybody so that next turn he'll have a lot of lethal units presenting themselves.
Oh, yeah. Kothon's actually not a bad draw here by any means.
No. It's 2 bodies in 1. I think that's about as much as you can ask for in this spot.
I mean, it's just so irrelevant at this point. We have 2 17 attackers on the other side of the board.
It's relevant, but also not, as you said. You know, it's a nice thing to have. It's staving off lethal for another turn.
But there's no way to turn, staving off lethal into pushing back.
Yeah, Buford's gonna play another pair of flyers this turn. Everything's gonna get +6/+6, and Jez throws away 2 more bodies here, and it's been over for a while, but now it's going to actually be over.
Yeah, multiple lethal threats. Just too much to and Jez literally cannot block enough damage to survive.
Yep. Has to block the pair of 23 strength champions of cunning, and that's going to let 22 through.
Rest in pieces, Jez.
Yep.
You dodged the Feln matchup for a few rounds, but not forever, buddy.
Yeah, it always catches up to you eventually, but still a good showing from Jez. He knows what his nightmare was. Didn't quite get the draws he was hoping for to try and even out that series, and gets taken down by the nightmare match.
Yep. But well played from both players. We're going to try and find you some backups over there. Looks like we have a couple matches lined up, so we'll take a look at that shortly. I am currently looking at a match with Scourge of Frostholm in play, so hopefully we'll get it's Notorious GHP versus Crizalio. So we'll take a it looks like we're gonna go to that. Probably gonna be over very shortly though.
It gives us something to do in the meantime while we look for maybe a real backup. But
this is very over. But
that's a scoop.
But look at Scourge of Frostholm. I did not know someone had registered a copy of Scourge of Frostholm for this event.
I mean, if Feln's going to be popular, why not?
Yeah. Yep. Why? Only because it cost $1 billion. But
Okay, looks like we're gonna jump in on AngryChicken.
Looks like we got a farmhouse brawl over here with AngryChicken versus LittleBeef.
Yeah. AngryChicken not on Combray this week.
What? Are they on Art Report?
Not on Combray. No, he's on I believe it's
JPS. Okay.
Shadow Primal Justice stuff.
Which is very similar to the list we saw Jez on, but this is a more controlling list. No Nostrix, instead opting to play Island Clan Mother, which is a really powerful card.
Yeah,
and Island is actually Harsh Rule and Channel the Tempest.
Island kills a lot of stuff. Once you start to play with her, you start to realize, 6 damage can clean up quite a few things. But LittleBeef is not looking great here, but has a lot of cards in hand. I don't know if we'll get a hand cam set up, but we're working on that.
So the Beef Master over there is playing Icaria White, Icaria Gold / FTJ. And this is just the more traditional Icaria Heart of the Vault Rise to the Challenge deck that we're used to seeing with 4 Hearts.
I'm looking through their Void right now. They've cast 2 Rise of the Challenge, one of which got a Heart of the Vault, which is in the Void. I don't see another thing yet with +2 strength, so that's still lurking in their hand, whether it's an Icaria or something else. Not sure.
Poster. All right, well, that's cool.
There's also a wanted poster in their Void, but there's now one on Mocto, and I think this is the old A-Space into Harsh Roll line coming.
Right. And I think AngryChicken has Island Choice as an answer in their deck, but obviously not here. I think this is favored for AngryChicken just because of they're the deck with 4 Channel the Tempest in the control mirror plus Mocto. I think it's pretty powerful. But Icaria Gold / White is notoriously very powerful in the late game with cards like Ikaria, Starsteel Die Show, and Heart of the Vault.
But the Makta lines up real nicely against Ikaria, and AngryChicken even has a favor, a bunch of Harbingers, and Slay. So he's ready to handle Ikarias. It's really LittleBeef's going to have to get an Ikaria down, hope that Warcry hits a really big weapon, like you said, Daisho or something, and try and ride that out to victory. Yeah.
And what got Rain of Frogs is the question, because that could be huge here. Like if that's Ikaria that we're looking at.
Yeah, what if he rose for like I said, LittleBeef used 2 rises. He may have rose for an Ikaria and that got hit by Rain of Frogs. That's what it looks like. Because LittleBeef doesn't now that we've got the hand cam set up, doesn't have anything that was buffed by Rise. Yeah. So I'm willing to bet that frog was an Ikaria that was risen for.
Yep. And considering that we've seen more than one frog, it's not, Die Show or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So that could be, it looks like it's going to be AngryChicken taking this off of that Rain of Frogs. Shush. Yeah. Ooh, that's an interesting card. Very good against Makto.
Very good is one word for it.
But it doesn't actually deal with it and doesn't deal with the other one on the board.
Yeah, it is still very much a 5/5.
And one of the Maktos was in the void already, so it silenced 2 Maktos. And...
it silenced 3, I guess, right? It silences the ones in.
No, it only silenced 2 because there's only 1 still left in the deck.
No, it does hand, deck, and void.
Oh, I think that one was already Desert Merchant.
But if a Makto's in your void, it was already silenced anyways.
Yeah.
So no worries there.
And I believe players are 1-1, but I could be wrong. And I think this is the last outstanding match of the round as well. So
Chicken is over, trying to figure out how to navigate the end here, and opts with the channel to the face of a nice choice at least.
Yeah, and there's that last silenced Makto. Still a revenge Makto lurking on the top of the deck, but it won't matter here as AngryChicken has a plethora of choices to end the game. Going to go with the immediate answer. Oh, and Protect still draws the 3 cards, though.
Mm-hmm. But doesn't find the Makto yet. So LittleBeef survives for another turn. Finds a hammer. That ain't lethal.
Nope, and it's just going to die to just about everything that AngryChicken could play.
I think, Chicken will go with Harbinger plus Makto here, I guess. Yeah. Could have gone Harbinger with Kothon and held up Island's Choice to play around Harsh Rule. Again, the world is Chicken's oyster at this point.
Yep. And the beef goes down to the irate bird. AngryChicken takes this 2-1, I believe. And yeah, like we said, the deck with 4 Channel the Tempest feels fairly favored in this, especially with Rain of Frogs as well. Yeah. Feels fairly favored in the control mirror.
Makto also lines up really, really well against Ikaria. Like, this 5/5 flyer that's a recurring blocker that you don't mind trading off, and it just eats weapons all over the place. And when you combine it with other card draw, it can just be a real pain to deal with. As we saw, their best option was Shush. Not quite as effective as in Cold Blood or Rain of Frogs.
Yeah, exactly. But I believe that's going to be our coverage for this round. Let me just check quickly.
That's the word.
That's our coverage for this round. So we'll come back at you in round 5 with some more ETS action.